गुड इवनिंग फ्रेंड्स। आज हम सेल्सफोर्स डेवलपर के कुछ इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चन देखते हैं जो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस हैं। ये क्वेश्चन आपको इंटरव्यू क्रैक करने में हेल्पफुल हो सकते हैं। तो क्वेश्चन स्टार्ट करते हैं। व्हाट इज द ऐप इन सेल्सफोर्स? App is a group of the tabs that work as a unit to provide the functionality. Users can switch between the app using the force.com app drop down the menu at the group to right the corners of every page. You can customize the existing app to the match the way to the work or build new app by the grouping standard and custom tabs. Navigation to the create an app is a Salesforce setup. Build, create app. Click on new and create your the applications according to your the requirement. Next questions. What is the object in Salesforce? Custom objects are the database tables that is allow you to the store data specific to your the organization in the Salesforce. You can the use you can use custom object to the extend Salesforce.com's functionality or to build new application functionality. Once you have created a custom object, you can the create a custom tabs, re, custom related list, reports, and dashboards for user to the interact with the custom object data. You can also access custom object data through the host.com's API. Navigation to create the object in salesforce.com. Setup build, create object. Click on the new object and create the object according to your the requirement. Next questions. How many relationship include the SFDC? What are they? We are the having for the type of the relationship. They are lookup relationship, master details relationship, many to many, hierarchy relationship. Next questions. What is the lookup relationship? This type of the relationship link to object together up to 25 allowed to the 4 object. Parents is not the required fits. No impact on the security and access. No impact and deletions can be the multiply lawyer the deep. The lookup feeds is not required. Salesforce. Next questions. What is the master details relationship? Master details relationship is the parent child the relationship in which master represent parents and the details represent childs. If parents is a deleted, then child also the get deleted roll-up summary feeds can be only be created on the master records, which will be calculate the sum average minimum of the child's records. Up to allows to the object, parents feeds on the child's is required. Access to parents determine the access to the children's. Deleting the parents automatically delete the childs. A child's of the on master details relationship cannot be the parents of another. Lookup feeds on page layout is required. Next questions. How can I create many to many relationship? Lookup and master details relationship are one to the many relationship. We can create the many to many relationship by the using the junction object. Junction object is a custom object with to the master details relationship. Next questions, custom object the content. Some records new me requirement is to the create the fields is in this object with the master details relationship. Can we create the master details relationship in the case? No, directly we cannot create the master details relationship if custom object contain exiting the records. Following are the step to create the master details relationship when records are the available in the custom object. First create fields with lookup relationship and then associate look feeds with the parents records for the every records. Next, change the data type of the feeds from lookup the to master details. Next questions. List example of the custom fields types. Text, pick list the multi select date, emails, time, date, currency, checkbox, number parents, phones, URL, text area, locations, look up the relationship, master details relationship. Next questions. What is the tab in Salesforce? Tab is the user interface, the compounds to user the create to the display custom object data. There are three type of tabs: custom tabs, visit post tabs, web tabs. Next questions. Can I user the create the user insert their one custom logo within the creating their one custom applications? Can a user create a insert their one custom logo with the creating their the one creating the applications? Yes, users can upload their the custom logo in document and then they choose that logo for organization Salesforce organization. Next questions. What is the self relationship? Self relationship is the look up the relationship to the some objects. Suppose let take an object merchandise. Here we can create the relationship in a between the account to account the sum object and object that is a call self relationship. Next questions. What are the main things need to the consider in the master details relationship? Records level access to determine by the parents mandatory on the childs for the reference of parents. Case delete if you are the delete that is parents. It can case delete in the chats. Next questions. What is the difference between the triggers and the workflow? Workflow is the automated process that is a fire and actions based on evaluations criteria and the rules criteria. We can the access and workflow access the object. We cannot perform the DML operation on the workflow. We cannot query from the database. Triggers is a piece of the code that is executed before or after the records in insert or updated. We can access to the triggers across the object and delete it to that object. We can use 20 DML operation in the on triggers. We can use 20 SQLs from the database in the on triggers. Next questions. What is the wrapper class? Wrapper class is a class whose instance are the collections of the other object. It is used to display different objects on visual first page in same tables. Salesforce. Next questions. What is the difference between this SQL and SOSL? SOSL Salesforce Object Query Language. Using the SQL, we can the search only one of the object at a time. We can query one or fields of any data types. We can use to SQL in the triggers and the classes. We can perform the DML operation on query result. SQL Salesforce Object Search Language. Using the SQL, we can the search one many object at a time. We can query only on feeds whose data type of the text, phones, and emails. We can the use to the classes but not the triggers. We cannot perform the DML operation on the search result. Next questions. What is the different insert and database insert? Using insert methods, we can insert the records, but if any errors occurs, occurs in any record system, will throw an errors instructions field and none of the records are inserted. If we want to execute particularly success of the bulk insert operation, we will be use database insert. Next questions. What are the static resource? Using static resource, we can upload image, zip files, jar files, JavaScript, and the CSS files that can be referred in the Visual Force page. The maximum size of the static the resource for the organization the 25 to 15 MB. Says next question: how to the call JavaScript using the static resource in the Visual Force page? Add a JavaScript file static resource. Set up the development static the resource. Click on the new name file name and add files from the local desktop and save. We can use that files as a follow in the user force page. Apex include script value, resource file names. Next questions. Next questions. What is the sharing rules? If we want to give the access to other users, we use the sharing rules. Salesforce developer. Next questions. How many way to can share the records? Role hierarchy. If we add to users a role, the users is above in the role hierarchy. We have read access, setup, manage users roles, setup roles. Click on the add, add roles, provide the name, and click save. OWD defined that is a baseline setting for the organizations. Define that level of access of the users can see that is other users records. OWD can be private, public read only, public read and write, set up security controls, sharing settings, click on the edit. Manual sharings, sharing is a single records to the single users of group of the users. We can see this is a button details page of the records and this is a visible only when OWD static setting is a private. Criteria based the sharing rules. If we want to share the records based on the conditions like share the records to group of the users whose criteria are the country is India. Set up security control sharing settings, select the object and provide the name and connections and the save. Apex sharings share object is available for the every object for account the object. Share object is a account shares. If we want to share the records using the Apex, we have to create a records to the share object. Next questions: how many way we have we can make feeds is required. We'll create creations of the feeds, validations rules, page layouts level. What is the difference between the role and profiles? Role is a records level access and it is not the mandatory for all users. Profile is the object level and feeds level access and it is mandatory for all the users. Next questions: what is the maximum size of the PDF general or Visual Force attribute renders? 50 MB. Next questions: how many control can be used in a Visual Force page? Salesforce comes under the SaaS, so we can use one controller and as a many extensions controllers. Next questions: what is the difference between the action support and actions functions? Action functions invoke the controller methods from JavaScript using Ajax, and we can use actions function from the different place on the Visual Force page. Action support invoke the control methods using the Ajax when even the across on page like the mouse or the on click it, and we cannot use action support for the particular the single Apex compounds. Next questions: how many way we can call the Apex class? Visual Force page, web service, triggers, and email service. Next questions: what is the manual sharings? Manual sharings is a share to the records to the particular the users manually. Go to the details page of the records and click on the manual the sharings button and assign that is the records to the other users with the read and read write access. Manually sharing the button that enables only the when the OWD and private to the that object. Next questions, how can how we can change the grant access using the role hierarchy for the standard object? Not possible. Next question, what is the use of the transfer records in the profiles? If user have only read access on the particular records, but he want to change the owner name of the records, then if in profile level the transfer records enables he can able to the change the owners. Next questions, what is the fields dependency? According to the fields selection on feeds filter the pick list value on the other feeds. Next questions, checkbox perform the like the controlling the feeds. Yes, possible. Controlling the feeds should be the checkbox or the pick list. Next questions, how many feeds dependencies we can use in Visual page. Maximum we can use 20 feeds dependency in the Visual page. Next questions, what is the roll-up summary? Roll-up summary display the count of the child's records and calculate the sum, minimum and maximum of the feeds of the child's records. Next questions, how to create the roll-up summary feeds? One lookup the relations. Not possible roll-up summary feeds is enables to the many master trace relationship. Next questions, what are the records type? Records type are the restrict, that is a pick list value and assigned to the different page layout for the different records type. Next questions, what is the audit trade? Audit trade is the provide the information the track all the recent setup change that and administrations done of the organization. This can be stored there the 6-month data. Next question, what are the reports type? Four types of the reports in the Salesforce. Tabular reports, we can only display the grand total in the tables from. Next, summary reports. It is a details from the reports in the which the grouping done based on the columns. Next, matrix reports. It is a details from the of reports in which the grouping done based on the both row and columns. Next questions, join the reports. We can join the two or more reports in that single reports display in the form of blocks. Next question, what is the dashboards? Dashboards is a plural representation of the reports we can add up to the 20 reports in the single the dashboards. Next question, what is the default timeout? Parent will the calling the web service from the Apex. 10 seconds. Thank you, friends. Take care. Bye bye.